welcome to the North Channel Art Club. My name is Mariana, and throughout this week I will be teaching you the basics of modern calligraphy. I'm super excited that you're all joining me, and I hope you are too. This video is just a quick rundown of how this series is going to work. I will also be demonstrating some of the supplies listed in the workbook provided for this mini class. So, modern calligraphy is comprised of 8 basic strokes: the upstroke, the downstroke, the overturn, the underturn, the compound curve, the oval, the ascending loop, and the descending loop. All of these put together in different combinations form the calligraphy alphabet. If you look at the PDF file provided in a link in the description box, you'll see every page is labeled with days 1 through 4. Every day we will be posting a video that will walk you through every single stroke. At the end of this week, you will have mastered the basics and we can move on to more fun exercises. And yes, I can already hear you asking, what do these little squiggles have to do with anything? And why are we spending a whole week practicing them? Well, to answer that second question, all I have to say is be patient. Everything will make sense at the end of this week and you'll have the answer to that first question then too. Okay, now that I have explained how this is going to work, it's time to talk about supplies. The first thing we're going to talk about is pens. You can practice modern calligraphy with different types of tools, the most common being brush pens or a pointed pen with a nib. These are the perfect tools to get that line weight variation when you're drawing letters. In calligraphy, every time your pen is moving up, like this, you want a thin line. And then every time your pen is moving down, when you apply pressure, and then you get very thick lines. So remember that, that's a very important rule. Up equals thin, down you apply pressure, and it equals thick. But don't worry, if you don't have those tools or you have little ones joining you, I will also show you a handy trick to fake the calligraphy look with a simple pen or a pencil. When it comes to brush pens, it doesn't really matter what kind you get. It's personal preference if you want to use a small tip like this one that I've been using, or if you want to use a medium tip like these Sharpie brush pens, where you can see you can get a thicker line, but you also can achieve really thin lines. Or if you want to use a big tip pen like this Tombow pens, these are very popular, and this you can make really thick lines, but also very thin lines. For the purpose of this series, I will be working with a small tip pen. But work with what you have, it really doesn't matter. And for anyone using a regular pen or a pencil, you can achieve that brush pen look by doing something we call faux calligraphy. We will learn the same basic strokes, like we have them here, keeping in mind the up equals thin and down equals thick rule. So we'll still do the upstroke, the downstroke, the overturn, the underturn, and so on. And then we'll fake it by going back and thickening those downstrokes, like this. So you just go back, make sure you go over it. Remember when you made it a downstroke, and that's what you thicken. Here in the overturn, you came down on this side, so you would thicken this side. And you can make it as thick as you want. And then in the underturn, it was this side where you came down, so you would thicken that side. And I would suggest when you do this, you also go over the thin line too, so they all look the same darkness. But always make sure that one side is thicker than the other. If you're careful and slow and make sure that every thick downstroke has a consistent weight, no one will be able to tell the difference. Next, we're going to talk about paper. This part is important for one reason only. Most brush pen tips are made out of felt, which when used on the wrong surface, will start fraying and losing their point, making it very difficult to achieve thin upstrokes. So you want to make sure the paper you're using is very smooth. Here are some options. You can use tracing paper. This one is by Strathmore, but any brand will do. The way to use this is by placing a sheet of tracing paper on top of your lettering guides, and you'll be able to see the guides easily. So then you would just letter on your tracing paper by following along the guides. And as a bonus, you'll only have to print your guides once. Another good smooth option is marker paper, but this one doesn't work as well with pointed pens. Now, if you're planning to do full calligraphy and just use a regular pen or pencil, then the paper you use doesn't matter. You can use regular printer paper or a notebook, everything's fine. One quick thing I do want to mention though is don't get bogged down by supplies and brands and whatnot. Work with what you have and what you can find. These videos will always be available for you to come back and practice some more. So if you don't have any brush pens right now, you can always revisit them at a later time. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're following us on either Facebook or Instagram at North Channel Library so you can be alerted whenever we post new content, and we'll see you tomorrow for our first lesson.